listening to Real Love, Real Stories. And this, my friend, is a podcast to share love stories and also get tips on building meaningful relationships in all aspects of your life. This is your girl, Kanu. I'm the host and producer of the show, and I'm a therapist by training turned love guru. I am so thrilled that you have tuned in because without you, this wouldn't be so fun. So here is another great episode. Enjoy. Here's a word from our partners. So I love wine. If you know me, you know that I love wine. And recently I attended a wine tasting event with friends and we got to swirl, sniff, sip, and savor our wine. It was fun. So Real Love, Real Stories is partnering with Wines for Humanity. I love this company, you guys, because they have a passion for wine and a heart for others through their efforts of trying to eliminate homelessness. So if you want a wine that in turn helps others, then check out the link in the show notes. You can browse their selection, find out about hosting a tasting in your own home. And I know you're going to have so much fun that you are going to consider becoming a wine advisor. So click the link in the show notes for more details. Hey, this is your girl Kanu bringing you another awesome episode. And today I'm talking about how to stay friends with an ex after breakup or divorce. So I am that person that wants to keep everyone happy and in my life. So as you can imagine, I've kept some exes in my life after ending the relationship, and all to varying degrees of success. So I will share some examples as we get deeper into this episode. So my thoughts are, though, that if we truly loved each other, we spent however much time together, I've met your family, you've met mine, we have even exchanged saliva, then wouldn't that be a waste to just let it all go because we aren't romantically involved? So let me just say, though, that of course, there are some exceptions to this rule. So if your ex was abusive, toxic to you, hurt you in any way, then obviously not a good idea to keep that person in your life. I am talking about those relationships where it ends because you were just not in alignment or you just wanted different things in life. So I got divorced. It was amicable to the point where the lawyer even jokingly asked us if we were sure we wanted to divorce. I remained friends with my ex, and I'm still, to this day, connected to his family. So sometime after we got divorced, I started dating. He met my guys that I was dating, and I met the women he was dating. Some of them, though, were not happy with our relationship as they felt threatened. And, but he and I actually had discussed that there might come a time when we might have to end the friendship in respect to our partners. And so it actually happened. A few years later, he got serious with his wife now. And so our friendship, we had to end it. So I am going to share some tips on what you can do pre and post breakup or divorce. Most of these things are just what I went through, in my previous relationships. So I'm sharing this episode too because they're just some people that you want in your life, and I'm talking about your exes. And so not being romantically involved doesn't mean that you have to cut them out of your life. There are some healthy ways that you can do or things that you can do to kind of remain friends. So what you can do, though, before you either break up or you get divorced, I think you should develop a true friendship. Studies show that couples who were friends before they became intimate have a better chance of remaining as friends after a breakup. So however you connected, your relationship will be stronger if it's based on more than just the physical attraction. And by the way, that is why I guide my clients that go through the Ultimate Love Attractor plan to identify and live a life that is in alignment with their core values. Because when you do that, it makes life a whole lot easier. So 2, you should maintain your own identity. People talk about how you complete me or 50-50. It's like, no, it's 100%. Become 100%. Maintain your identity. So enjoy doing the things together as a couple, but cultivate your existing support network and pursue your own interests. That way, you'll be more resilient in adapting to fluctuations in your romantic life. There are some people who, after getting out of a relationship, they are completely lost because they had been isolated from the outside world and they had put all their effort and time into the relationship that they're in. And normally this happens when you are in a relationship with somebody who is controlling. And by the way, that's a whole topic for another day. So number 3, hold yourself accountable. Be honest about your actions that contribute to the decline of any relationship. Because it's easier for us to just point blame and say, he did this, that's why the relationship is ending. But hold yourself accountable and be honest about your own actions and whatever that you contributed to that decline of that relationship. So a realistic perspective will help you recognize patterns of behavior that you can improve on and make you less vulnerable to blaming the other person for everything. Because we all think that we're perfect, right? So this is number 4, work out issues between yourselves. So seek advice and support from family and friends, but avoid bad-mouthing your partner. If you deal with your conflicts directly, your loved ones will have less reason to view your partner in a negative light and create obstacles. I don't know about you, but if you have ever shared anything with your trusted people that is something bad about your partner, maybe they did something to you or they said something to you, your trusted people love you, so they start treating him or her differently, even long after you have forgiven them and moved on. So just avoid sharing those things with your friends and family. Just deal with them directly with your partner. Number 5, value and respect yourself as an individual so you can avoid becoming overly dependent on your partner. This is a big one. That's a lot of people in relationship. They become so dependent on the partner. And I feel like that's why people say it's 50-50 or you complete me. Just become whole so that you're not so dependent on them. Should the relationship end, you're going to suffer, my friend. So make sure that you value and respect yourself as an individual, even if there are kids involved. Still, you need to do that. And what a great example you would be for your kids too, right? So, all right, let's talk about what you can do should your relationship end. So this is after you decide to break up or divorce. So number 1, first of all, do what you can to make sure that the separation or the divorce is amicable. I shared my own divorce with my ex, that it was amicable enough to the point where the lawyer even jokingly said, "Are you guys serious?" Okay, so our relationship was different, and that doesn't happen in everyday life, but get off to a good start on being friends with your ex by handling the breakup with mutual respect and consideration. Talk about your differences instead of withdrawing from each other or saying hurtful things, which, that's a emotionally charged time. So it's easier to fall into that trap of saying bad things about them. So like I said, I shared earlier that my ex and I's divorce was amicable. It made my life easier too. So, and if you have kids, talking things out and coming to a happy middle will for sure be beneficial for the kids because you're going to be still in each other's lives based on the kids. So you want to make sure that you separate amicably. Number 2, make your intentions clear. So if you want to stay in touch, be clear about whether you want to maintain a platonic relationship or something else. Are you making that decision for the kids or are you doing it for yourself? So it will help you both to avoid painful misunderstandings. Just make sure your intentions are very, very clear. So, and actually what normally helps is this next point is give yourselves time to cool off. Sometimes we make decisions. When I mentioned that you're emotionally charged, getting a divorce can be very much emotionally charged. So make sure that you give yourselves time to cool off. So even when you part on good terms, you'll probably need some time to yourself before you are ready to communicate with your ex. So take a breather so you can have time to reflect and plan for your future. Now, this might be tricky again, especially when kids are involved. Maybe let your lawyer help you come up with a good plan, because we're just not thinking, correctly, because we are losing this identity of being a partner, a couple, a wife or a husband. So you're losing that identity. And usually when that happens, we don't quite think, the way that we normally would when there's no stress involved, right? So, okay, number 4, think before you become intimate with your ex. So old habits die hard. You might be hanging out, having drinks, and one thing leads to another. And just like that, you are headed towards regret city. So it might work out for some people, but think carefully about whether the immediate pleasure justifies the potential regrets. And also, this might start to confuse kids if there are kids involved. So think before you become intimate with your ex. And number 5, set some boundaries. Decide what you are comfortable with. If you and your ex are at ease with discussing personal matters, you both may benefit from talking with someone who knows you well. I get that. But decide what works for you, because if you don't, you might muddy up the waters unintentionally. So I'm talking about, it's, your partner has been a person that's been with you, right, for however much time. And so it's that comfort security blanket, right? You want to tell them things like you normally used to. So you need to decide what you're comfortable sharing with them, because now your relationship is different. Number 6, meet new people. So give yourself the opportunity to find new friends and romances. So talk about it with your ex so they know what is going to come. Sometimes there are some residual feelings that one, maybe both, that you might have. And you just want to make like an easier transition into your new reality, and also being respectful for your partner. So this is important. If you might end up dating, maybe you know somebody in common, you might end up dating a friend or a neighbor, somebody that you both know as a couple. It is very, very important to make sure that you let them know that this is what you're planning to do. So plan ahead for how you handle new love interest. It's always challenging when either of you finds a new partner. Think ahead so you'll be ready to adapt as your circumstances change. Number 7, learn from experiences. Welcome every relationship as an opportunity to learn about yourself and the world around you. Take satisfaction in your personal growth instead of viewing breakup as a failure. So every relationship that you've been in has been an experience. And I hope you learned something that you're taking to the next relationship as a lesson learned. And you can also take some of those good things into the next relationship. So make sure that you learn. And there's always something that we can all learn from any relationship that we have been. So continued friendship with your ex could be very beneficial for you, or it could cause you grief. So make your decision carefully, reflecting on your true feelings. Whatever you decide, clarify your intentions and treat each other with compassion so you can feel good about whatever your future holds. So I hope this helps you, decide whether you want to stay friends or not with your ex after a breakup. And I hope also it helps you make some changes, tweak a few things into your relationship right now. I hope your relationship is a happy one and it lasts forever, but should it end, hopefully you can stay friends. Like I try to stay friends with my ex, but if it doesn't work out, just let it go. So thank you for listening. Until next time. Look at you, my friend. You made it all the way to the end. I'm so grateful. So the fact that you did make it all the way to the end, that means you liked this episode. So go ahead and be a hero. Send it to 3 people. And then go to iTunes where you can rate and review this podcast.